Alright, hello everyone. I'm just gonna make sure that the volume is fine. If it sounds a little out of sorts, I apologize, because this microphone is a little chaotic here on OBS. So today we're gonna talk about my possible home community of Bear, Delaware, and why, after thinking about it for so much, why we're going to talk about this particular area in New Castle County. So I'm going to read you an article from this real estate website. And we're going to talk about why this community has some and there's positives and negatives. We'll get into the positives first. So Bear, Delaware. So the history of this neighborhood goes back to the early 20th century, when this neighborhood was a farming community. Now, it is just south of Wilmington, but the main positive of this neighborhood, there is a direct bus line along Route 40 that runs every half hour on weekdays, and I have to look at the schedule on Dart Bus website, but you have a bus that will take you to the Wilmington train station, and from there you can access the Wilmington area for SEPTA to get into Philadelphia. And if you want to take Amtrak is right there too. So there is also some nearby parks we're going to talk about, and especially because Delaware does a good job maintaining its park space. Now, I'll just talk about where I would want to get a home. Like, I'm not going to say street names or anything, because that could, violate my privacy here. So, you have a lot of parks nearby. You have Beck's Ponds Park. You have Glasgow Park further down Route 40. There's a hiking trail. You have Lummis Pond Park, which is actually accessible by Dart Bus. Yes, there are some restaurants. There is a bar scene further down Route 40. So you have a lot of food options available. Now, the main takeaway is supermarket accessibility. So you have a bus, not only that will take you to the Wilmington train station, but can also take you to Governor's Plaza Shopping Center. Yes, Governor's Square, that's what they call it. That's where ShopRite is. Now, we know what happened to Kmart. That was unfortunate. So, you also have the Bear Library. So, New Castle County does operate it. Now, there have been newer houses built, and that shouldn't be an upside to it. But my dad has been saying that he's been looking at it, and, they do have recent houses. Now, okay, most errands do require a car, but that's not necessarily true. Alright? So, we'll get into options for public transit in just a second here. Let's see if I can pull up the map of Bear. So, this is the neighborhood that I have been really thinking about recently. Now, we could zoom in and just take a look to see what the bus options are. Now, should be able to zoom in. Hopefully find a public transit option. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So, the route is called the Route 40, the Route 040 bus stop. Now, also in this area, you do have one bus called the 054 that can get you over to the Christiana Mall. So, there's that as an option. I think Yeah, there's the 64 too. So we'll look at that one in just a bit. 'Cause I want to see the 64. Let me see if I can click on it. See if it'll show me what the 64 looks like. So I'll have to look up what the... I think Google does show you specific bus stops. So this is DART. Now, there is one negative about being in there, and that is the 54 and the 64 bus routes. Now, this is how I would get to where I need to be from there. But when you really think about it and you look at the schedules carefully, because we're just going to look at Monday through Friday, so I'm just going to look at, yes, right here. So, Governor Square Shopping Center. This is where I would hope that I would be moving to. Now, when you look at it, the thing is, you really have to plan out when you're going to leave. Because if you don't, then it could be a big problem. So it's only one bus per hour. And sometimes I wish that DART would really reevaluate some routes that should run every half hour. Not every route should be running every hour, because we're trying to convince people to use public transportation. You know, we want people to say, hey, you know, think about how you're going to convince people what are we going to do here. Now, the good news is, and I'm just looking at the 64 route right now, People's Plaza. So we're just going to look at the 64 at the moment. It's currently right now 11:22. So let me see if I can get that at the moment. I'm just looking for the Saturday schedule. Yes, okay. So at least the good news is the bus is only 2 minutes late right now going to where it needs to be at the moment, People's Plaza. So at least the good news is Transit app is working for Delaware. And that is one of the main positives that I look at. And the main thing is the buses have Wi-Fi. In fact, let me show you the proof. Yeah, free Wi-Fi. So you get Wi-Fi on the buses. I want to take a look at the fares for a second. So I can get a DART First State Reduced Fare ID. So I'd have to apply for that. And at least the good news is it's 80 cents for the bus. So that is the main thing. So there are fare zones. And of course there's a SEPTA key card. So definitely would have to apply also for a SEPTA key card if I want to take the buses in Philadelphia in the future. But if I were to go into Philadelphia, and I'll give a shout out to fellow YouTuber Taco Elevators, you know, I'd have to probably go see him on a weekday. Because the weekend service, it'd have to be pretty iffy if I were to, let's say, leave from Governor Square on a weekend. Because I'm just looking at this particular schedule here. Let me just see. All right, it's every hour. So if I were to go to Philadelphia on a weekday, because I'm just looking at Wilmington Transit Center here for just a second. Governor Square. Yeah, I'd have to be on the 8:44 a.m. bus. No joking around with that. And then just looking at King Street. I'm just going to go with King Street because that's where the buses would depart. Yeah, I'd have to literally plan to be back in Delaware later in the day or something, or I could take an Uber or a Lyft at night. That would be more preferable to save money on a weekend. I'd rather would just take the bus during the day, right? Because the travel time is not that bad. To get over to, let's say, Wilmington Monday through Friday, let's just go with the 9:56 a.m. bus. The good news is, from there, it'll only take about around a half hour. So it's not that bad. The way DART has this route going, once you come up from Route 40, you go right up Route 13. And then once you get past Wilmington University, you're literally right in downtown Wilmington. So the Wilmington Transit Center is literally right there. And I've been thinking a lot about why would I want to pick Bear or maybe even Glasgow. If something opens up in Glasgow, I would definitely look into Glasgow. Only because you're still on top of the Route 40 bus route. And it still gets you to where you need to go. But if I were to go to Christiana Mall, it wouldn't be that bad. Because then if you really think about, it's only every hour. What do you really need to complain about? Then think about it. Once you're on the bus, the only other positive is you get one bus takes you right to Walmart. So think about that. Other bus gets you right to the Christiana Mall. I mean, it's a pretty convenient route. The way that they have it laid out on the 54, I'll just show you it right here. You still have the bus that gets you right to the mall. So am I going to visit the mall frequently? Hard to say. But I'm only focused on my community here. I'm just focused on, what would it take to, get me to Wendy's, for an example. Because I know where Wendy's is further down Route 40. In fact, I'll show you. Because this neighborhood has a very, very good layout. In fact, the whole Route 40 layout, the way that they have this whole design here, you have Hardee's. Just want to see. Yeah, so you have Acme. You have Food Lion. I mean, if I wanted to go to, let's say, Safeway and get my red velvet cookies, that would have to be on a weekday. I mean, I can't do that on a weekend. I wanted to go to Wawa, get a hoagie. I think I could do that. So there's, not that bad. I just want to see if Wawa is further down here. I don't think it is, but we'll find. I think there might have been a Wawa right here. Right over here, if I'm correct. Let me just zoom. I think, yeah. See, Wawa's right here. Wawa is literally right here. From this particular, I'm hoping I'm going to be in this area. I'm hoping that, let's say if I'm close to Songsmith Drive. Ooh, I would love to be run on top of Songsmith Drive. Have a convenient walk to get the bus and then take it over to, let's say, there would not be that bad. So, I think Route 7 has a sidewalk, if I'm correct. Let me see. Just want to see if Route 7 has a side. I think it does have a sidewalk. So, I know Route 40 has a sidewalk. Let's see. Yeah, see? Yeah, see? Del Dot was thinking about pedestrians, okay? Del Dot was. Like, you have a crosswalk here. Right on top of Route 40. I mean, the way that they have this, and especially because I have had first-hand experience at this traffic light before in the past. So, it's a very convenient design, the way Del Dot put this whole neighborhood together. So again, you have your Wendy's, and again, I'll show you where Wendy's is. So I'm trying to think, I don't want to go to the Christiana Wendy's because that's a whole schlep right there. And then look, another reason why I've been fascinated about this whole community is the fact that I've been to this CVS location before on Pulaski. I've been to this location with my mom and dad in the past because we went to the Boscov's in the area because we just took 896 to get back up. So you have a diner right here on Route 40. The Route 40 diner has pretty good reviews, so it definitely gets me into. I know there's another bus that would get me into Cecil County, Maryland. I'd have to go over that in another video that I'm not going to get into today. But look how convenient this is. The fact that you have Glasgow Park right off the bus. You know, look how convenient. There's even a hiking trail here. Take a little hike. You know, and if you feel like you're tired, you know, the good news is, again, I like about this whole area is the fact that you could still go to Wendy's. So when you're done in the park and you have a long hike and you're hungry, it's walkable to get back to Wendy's right here. Everybody knows I love my Wendy's. In fact, let's just do a street view of what it looks like. You know, it kind of reminds me of how Belmore is sort of laid out because you go down in Belmore, there's like a little park over there, but nothing, trust me guys, it's nothing like Glasgow Park. Glasgow Park is really nice. And it is maintained by Denrec. So Denrec is generally known for their park conservation. So let's just see what Wendy's looks like over here. Let's just do like a little street. I hope they change the facade. I know in Christiana they changed it recently. So let's see. Oh yes, they recently changed it. Good. Ah, that's a sigh of relief. That is a sigh of relief. Wow. So that's another thing I look into. Has Wendy's updated their facade like they did with their other locations in... I'm just going to go Long Island for an example. Like Williston Park or Seaford. That's what I also base it on. Because I remembered I saw this recently and Wendy's did change their facade. So I just want to take a look to see... Oh yeah, it was definitely redone in the 2010s. So it was definitely done more recent. So let me see if I can go back. Let me just go on Pulaski Highway. Maybe there's like a further view that we can look at. Because what I like about Google is you can see for yourself most recent street views. So let's go back to 2015. Yeah, see that? It was updated in 2015. I'm trying to think, like, when did Wendy's change their facade in the 2010s? Let's see. I think it might have been around 2014. Look at that, because that was the old Wendy's sign. That was the old Wendy's sign, right? And there it is, 2014. Let's go to 2015. Yeah, look at that. So 10 years has gone by, and even though that's a most recent street view from 2023, I have to say Wendy's really planned it out. They really thought that they would know that this area would get busier over time. So I think there is an Arby's too. Let me see if there is. I think there is an Arby's. Yeah, and then here is Arby's. So the way the 40 bus route works out, again, it runs every half hour. And I think if I am correct, the bus does start over here. And then you have the 46, which the 46 actually gets you into downtown Newark. So I'll just quickly show you that one to wrap this up. So again, I'm very happy that I'm picking this general location because, you know, at the moment, I do view having somebody in the Philadelphia area as a contact in my favor. And again, hopefully I can meet up with Taco Elevators down the line in Center City or something because, you know, this would be really convenient to have a very good bus route that would get you to where you need to go. So let's see. I'm just looking at. Yes, you have Odessa and Middletown. So I just want to look at the whole route for the way it is. So where does it go? Oh, look at that. This route goes right by the fulfillment center in Middletown. Right on Route 299. I know exactly where this is. Because I think Summit Bridge Road, there's another park further in Glasgow, I think. Yeah. I'd have to further look into it, but I think I know why DART has this route running every half hour. Because you do have the Amazon Fulfillment Center. Right. So I'm just looking at it. Yeah, see, that's frequent. That's frequent during rush hour. But I think it somewhat starts to get a little bit more frequent in the morning, which is understandable. So, I mean, I only look at it trying to get towards Newark. And Newark, let me tell you guys, it's a beautiful downtown. And I would like to do a video on it, when I'm physically in Delaware. Because it is based on Delaware University. So you have the Star Camp. They call it Star Campus. But, Wilmington does have its rep. But, when you really need to make up time on public transit, and I always tell everybody this, if you're in Bear or Glasgow, be grateful that you have a public transit option that can get you to the SEPTA train station in downtown Wilmington, because we know how bad the parking is in Wilmington. Ugh. Who wants to leave their car in Wilmington and then pay for... Because trust me, you have to pay for parking. Who wants to do that when you could just take the bus and then pay for your SEPTA fare? It makes a lot more sense. So to wrap up this video, I want to show you something very important about this community. So yes, you have Safeway, you have Acme. So I'm looking at it based on not completely being in a food desert. Because, the main thing is, what if there's another pandemic? Not that many people think that, COVID-19 was bad, but you need to have a supermarket available. You need to have access to those supermarkets. So I'll just show you the particular area that I'm looking at the moment. And my dad has, finally convinced me, hey, you really should think about this area. Because if you want to go to the drugstore and then walk right over to Food Lion, guess what? Food Lion's right here. So I think that's where I'm probably going to get my prescriptions sent over to, probably, most likely. I think that's where I'll probably do that. But I just want to see something here. Yes, okay. So, here's ShopRite. Okay, this is ShopRite right here. Governor Square. Now, this is where Kmart used to be. Now, I really wish Kmart was back, because having another food option, that was great to have that when I was first looking into this community a very long time ago. But how come Glendale Plaza is not showing... Oh, here's Giant. So I'm like, wait a minute. Giant is literally right across the street. So you have Starbucks, you have a gym, you have LA Fitness. So that's why I probably will end up working. And I'd have to see how much the gym membership is a month. I'd love to go to LA Fitness just to see, what they have in there. But you have a Dollar Tree, so at least you have that. But again, Giant is where, I would be looking at. Yes, so a lot of diversity here. You have your pizza restaurants. Yes, just trying to see where the pizza places are. Let me just pause this for a second. Alright, so there is a pizza place. I knew there was one right across the street. Not too far from where Giant is and not too far. Because first of all, I'm not going to go to Papa John's nor Little Caesars. Ugh. Who wants to go there? And then the main thing is having access to Walmart. That is another important thing that I look at for a route that would run every half hour, or another route like the 64 for an example, that would get me to where I need to go. So the good news is this is the bus stop. You have the 13 and then you have the 54. Okay, so you have the... Let me look at the 13 route for a second. I'm just going to look at that for one quick moment. Yes, so there it is. Another route that gets you right to downtown Wilmington. Well, there's Route 40 right there. And then there's Route 273. So you have another Walmart. Not too far from there, I guess. In Wilton. Right. Right to here, right? Right here. Yes, so there's Bellefonte. And then you have Claymont. So there's another option if you want to really look into it that way. Now, the only negative is if you want to go into, let's say, the Route 202 area, you are going to have to transfer for a bus that would take you up to Route 202, let's say, if you want to go into the Concord section of... Yes, the Concord section of Wilmington. Now, I definitely know my bus routes in Wilmington very well. If I look at the map, I would have to show you all that. But, you know, having access to a Walmart is another important thing because Walmart has food. So that's the way I would, you know, approach it. I'm just going to show you one quick thing here because I can give a pretty good wrap up this video. I just wish this computer would not freeze on me sometimes. So when you're on DART's website, you have to go onto the legend map. So we'll just load that up in a second here, unless I have to load up another map. So we're going to do this on the fly, and we'll definitely find it. So from the 40, what route would get you along Route 202? And after doing my research very carefully, you would have to take the Route 2 and the Route 35 bus. So when you come from Wilmington Transit Center, you would take the Route 2 or the Route 35 bus, and it runs pretty frequent on week. In fact, it runs every 20 minutes. So it's not the complete end of the world when you think about it. It only takes about another half hour on average. So it's not that bad when you have to go to Wilmington Transit Center. Because, first of all, it's a pretty lengthy ride. You might as well just go to the restroom in Wilmington if you need to. Maybe stretch your legs before you have to get on the next northbound bus. So it's not the complete end of the world when you think about it. But I'm just looking at, where would you have to go if, Routes 2 and 35 follow the same routing from Wilmington. Yeah, so it is a little bit of a walk. But when you look at this, Route 35 doesn't really operate on Sundays. Yes, so you have the blue highlight. Trips with blue highlights are the Route 35, right? So, most of the time, when you are riding, you are going to be on the Route 2 bus. So, you would have to go on Route 202 just to head back south on the bus. So that's the way, I look at it. I definitely am very, very decently impressed with Dart in that sense. I still wish they'd have more frequent buses going to the Christiana Mall, because Christiana is like the most desired area of the whole state when it comes to shopping. See, I wish they would mention that in Bear. I wish they would mention that you still have access to the shopping mall in Christiana. I mean, they should have mentioned this on this website. I wish they did when I was planning this video today, but you know what? I don't think it's necessary for me to make a federal case completely out of it. Now, I don't know if Dart is going to plan a bus redesign in the near future. That's what I kind of worry about. And I hope they don't go through with it anytime soon, because it would cause confusion. It would cause a lot of the kids, especially from Delaware University, who rely on the bus. How are they going to get from point A to point B? So, I think with that, we wrap up this video for today. I know a half hour is a good amount of timing, but I really hope I find somewhere in Bear. I hope so, or in Glasgow. I really hope I find something, because I was looking at Old Baltimore Pike. There is a bus route over there, but the thing is, I need access and convenience to the Route 2 bus. And so, believe me, I'm going to have to speak to a realtor about being right on top of Route 40. Because if I don't have access to that 40 bus route, that's going to be a big problem. Because I need my 02 bus if I'm going to even get up to up to Concord. Because there's actually a lot of nice restaurants that I would think about going to in that area. So, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. And that's it.